Just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. I'm here. I'm very stoked to be here with one of my favourite wingers, Nathan Merritt. What's going on, brother?
Not much, bros. Thanks for having me here today.
Mate, I'm stoked to have you. I was always a huge fan of you playing. Like, obviously, you debuted before me, but your peak was around the time when I was coming through and that. What's been going on, bros? What's been doing?
Since retiring, nothing much, Just chilling with the family, got 5 kids, and yeah, not too much happening. Just been a bit lazy. You know, trying to get back into the training site, but it'll take a bit of time, but hopefully I'll get back in there.
Mate, I tell you what, I'm exactly the same. I literally just had this conversation with, I don't know who it was, like Junior Paulo or something like that. And I said, it's so, once you get out of that system and you stop training, it's so hard to get back into it. But on top of that, like, because you've always seen yourself from like 4 years old as a fit person, it kind of rattles you more when you get a bit unfit. And I'm sure you're probably in that same thing where you're like, fuck, man, I used to be fit. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I know, man. It's like 6 years since I retired.
Yep.
So the first 2-3 years, I was pretty good.
Yep.
Stayed on top of myself and, trained pretty often. And played footy for the first 2-3 years when I retired, so in the local A-grade comp. So
who are you playing for?
Redfern All Blacks.
Okay, yep. So, is that with Big Georgie Rose and that? Or did they come in a bit after you?
No, they didn't play for Redfern.
Okay.
We just saw a bunch of local boys around the area. So
yep.
The first couple of years, we won the local A-grade competition for the first time in 40-something years.
Oh, really?
It's the first time when I first retired and come into the A-grade comp. So that was a good achievement for the Redfern All Blacks. And it's good to be a part of that. And the last couple of years, man, I've just been lazy and just trying to find myself to get motivated, and it's been very hard. So,
mate, I'm with you.
Need to find something to keep me going and get up and get motivated and get back to training and feeling healthy again.
Yeah, mate, I'm totally with you. Especially when I retired, it was similar-ish in the sense of probably the first 6 months or so, I was like kept in shape, and then I started working a lot, and then after that, I just like completely got out of shape to a point where people are like, oh, why don't you come play touch footy or something? And I'm like, honestly, if I come play touch footy, I'll tear a hammy because like I'm that unfit. And it's really hard to get the motivation because you've kind of, all that fire that you had during your career, it kind of like, it's gone, you lose because you've done it,
It's all out of your system by the time you're retired. And
100%.
When you're trying to find that motivation after you're retiring, it's hard to find it. You haven't got that, that motivation that you had when you wanted to be the best player that you could be or train as hard as you did while you was playing. So, it's hard to try and find that little tick somewhere that you need to kickstart yourself.
Sometimes, honestly, just saying it out loud, just talking about it, the fact that, fuck, I need to just do this, and then you speak about it, and you're like, you know what, and that, like, the ball starts rolling, snowball.
Yeah.
Because it was only this year that I had, like, 11 months off training. Yeah. Just speaking about it to my missus, and I was like, fuck, man, I'm just, like, struggling,
It's hard, yeah.
And then I got back into it, and now I'm in the zone again. It's been about 3 weeks since I've been training. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm good again.
How good is it when you get a week or two under your belt? You just feel like, back to your old self again.
100%.
Feel confident again in yourself and one thing I do love doing is playing basketball.
Yeah.
I play basketball on Sunday nights, so I've played in the last 3 months. We've been playing basketball on Sunday nights, so that's...
Whereabouts is that at?
Alexandria Basketball Stadium, so...
Okay, that'll be just down the road from you.
Yeah, around the corner.
Yeah, so, okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's only running I do, but it's only short stints. I'm always subbing off after about 2 or 3 minutes. But it's good. It's good fun.
Yeah.
It's only 3rd, 4th division. Just muck around, but just having fun and being active again. So
yeah.
That's the only active stuff that I do at the moment. So yeah, pretty.
It's weird because like when we're growing up, like your happiness is so tied to activity. You know what I mean? Because you do it so much. Whereas like a kid that may not have done much sport growing up, it's like not in their head that's a way that they can get happy. So they find other ways to kind of stay happy or whatever. But yeah, I'm totally in the same boat as you, man. Like I lose motivation and then I'm like, fuck, and I feel bad. I'm not confident about myself. I don't want to go to the beach. I don't want to do that. So I'm feeling you, brother. I'm feeling you. So take a young fella. So you grew up in Redfern, did you say?
Yeah, Redfern, Waterloo.
Yep.
Grew up around the area. So just local boy, Indigenous boy, so proud of where I come from, and couldn't ask for anything else. Are you extremely? Obviously, we still have a long ways to go, obviously,
But are you very happy with the progress we've made as a game? Because obviously you would have been there. You were there. I mean, it would have been way worse for people before you. But there would have been nowhere near as many programs about teaching the players about Indigenous culture and everything like that compared to today. Are you happy with it, or do you think we could still got a long way to go?
It's half and half. I think that they've made heaps of progress, and there's still a lot to do, but at least there's taken steps. So that's a good thing in my mind. When I was playing, it only started really happening towards the last couple of years of my career that I really started focusing on Indigenous programs and Indigenous culture awareness stuff. So at least it's coming along. There's more things that the game's doing to involve with Indigenous culture stuff. So it's it's taking steps in the right direction. So it's a good thing, I think.
Yeah. I mean, as just a white Australian, sometimes you can get caught up in like, hey, look how far we've come, but you definitely do need to look at the problems that still exist, kind of thing. There still is quite a big step to go towards. Again, because like I just speak from my personal experience. Like I didn't know nothing. Like growing up in school, I knew about the Dreamtime, but I didn't know much about it. I wasn't taught anything about it.
Yeah.
So my first experience with Indigenous culture, to an extent, not the true kind of like actual, full-on culture, but just the day-to-day culture was with a family called the Appos. I'm not sure if you know Nathan Appo, Nearly Apps and all that up in Queensland. Anyway, so my first experience was I would drive every day to training at Broncos training because I couldn't afford to stay up in Brisbane. I was living on the Gold Coast with my mum and dad. And those boys took me in. To be honest, at that stage, I still didn't really know what the difference was between Indigenous culture and any other culture. And when it hit me was when I remember I went to Lacey, I think, and he's half Indigenous, and Nathan, and I kept offering them rent money, and they were like, bruh, what? And I was like, well, I'm staying on your couch, like, why? And he's like, bruh, you're one of us, like that. And that was not to say that, white Australians wouldn't do that, but they were just trying to explain to me, bruh, like, if you're with us, we share shit. Yeah, this is how we do it. Even like the feeds we have every Sunday, they'd put on this massive feeds for us. They get all the mob around that. It was, and that was actually my first. Before that, I didn't know nothing, which is pretty sad to think about. A white Australian growing up didn't know anything about the heritage of the people that had been here before, kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's good. Again, it's obviously you know more than me, but is that something you'd be interested in getting involved in, or not really?
Definitely, that'll be something that I'd love to be involved with. Something that I'm passionate about, and something that needs to be reiterated in like consistently. Keep going on a weekly, monthly basis. Keep in contact with all the Indigenous boys and making sure they're doing well, and bring them back, getting everyone together, and keeping that culture awareness, engaged with everyone.
Yeah.
And, I'd love to see, school programs take on these kind of awareness, programs with, doing Indigenous culture awareness and stuff like that. So people learn at an early age about Indigenous Australians, Aboriginal Australians, when, we're the first ones to be here. And, you don't learn that stuff at school, and something that, I'd love to see that happen in the future.
Yeah, mate, I totally agree. Again, like I'm a proud Australian, but I do understand there are parts of our history that need to be acknowledged. So I totally agree, man. What I thought was so interesting, and it took me to like research to myself, and I say this to people all the time. I said like, okay, imagine if I said to you, I was literally said it probably 4 or 5 days ago to Mrs. I said, imagine if I said to you that's a direct descendant of a person that was Jesus. Like, now you'd be sitting there going, holy shit, direct descendant of a mate of Jesus or whatever, 2,000 years ago. I said, imagine if you had the same person, but it was 60,000 years ago. How much you would be like, holy shit, that culture is 65,000 years ago. Yeah. And I just think that if we could like let people know that we have this the oldest culture in the world, we should be very proud of that. And I think it gets lost in all the bullshit with like the people in power trying to divide us instead of going, mate, we could come together on this and be really proud of it. Yeah. But again, that's my opinion. Like I'm I'm just a white fella doing my best. Did you ever you played in the Indigenous All-Star game, didn't you?
Yeah, I played the first 3 years of the Indigenous All-Stars game. So, that was one of the best achievements I've played, that I had playing rugby league, to represent, my Aboriginal culture and my, family last name, and it was one of them, moments in my career where, I'm very proud of. And, when you step out in the field, you feel the hairs of the back of your neck stick up, and it's just it's a memorable moment. And I'm glad I was able to be a part of that, the process of that of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you were in the inaugural one, the first one?
The first 3 years I played. So
that's so good, bro.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience.
Great game.
Especially the first couple of years, you're playing against the best players in the NRL.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, we never had we probably had, people didn't really know many of the boys' names in our teams, but, we always, stuck up a good fight, or we won, or we come a draw, or we lost, but we fought hard, and we played with our hearts, and
absolutely,
that's the best thing about being a part of that Indigenous team. Is everyone plays from their heart.
Yep, absolutely. It's just it's so good to watch, bro. So good to, and I like the new setup because you've got two Indigenous cultures playing against each other, so you're getting that same passion from both cultures.
Yeah,
I think that's fucking really cool. So Preston Campbell had a lot with putting that together, didn't he?
Yeah, Presto had a lot of I think he had a lot of pull with trying to put the concept together, and he's the one who made the concept happen with the All-Stars, Indigenous All-Stars game. He applied a lot of pressure and made that thing happen. It was a lot of time in waiting, but he finally got the thing over the line, and the concept was started in 2010, I think. So
good, bro. So cool. I love watching the game, bro. It's just got this different feel about it. There's something different about it, whereas a normal NRL game, don't get me wrong, I fucking love footy, but there is something a bit deeper going on that you can't put words on it from an outside looking in, but you can just feel there's something there.
Yeah, it's just passion. You can feel the passion from both teams. Both trying to represent their cultures and represent their family names and where they come from, and there's nothing. You can't get any more passionate than having the Aboriginal All-Stars and the Maori All-Stars, competing against each other. Both are very passionate about their
it's deeper than footy.
Yeah, it's deeper than footy, It's and you can see it on the field when they play against each other. There's a lot of tough plays, and everyone's up for the moment. And
absolutely.
So it's a great concept. And I'm glad it's still going, kicking on.
Absolutely, totally agree, bro.
I think this year's in Townsville, so
that'd be sick, bro.
So, it's going to be good to see the far north Queensland and the fan base get into this one. So
bloody oath. I'm going to try and go. I'm going to try and fly up there. Now, frigging if the borders are open, far out.
Hopefully JT can get us all up there.
Yeah, he'll pay for it, bro. He's cashed up. He's cashed up, bro.
Put us in a motel too.
He owns half of Townsville anyway. Fuck, he's the king up there.
King of Townsville. King of Queensland.
Yeah, bloody oath. Okay, so young fella growing up, was it always rugby league or was it any other sports that you loved?
My first love was in sport was probably basketball.
Oh, really? So you've got a long history with basketball, not just like after footy?
I played basketball. Basketball was my first choice.
Okay.
Growing up, I love playing basketball. Play basketball every day, and footy was just sort of on the back burner. Was something that I'd done just because I love footy as well. But basketball was something that I did after school. Played after school. Play at school.
Yep.
And footy was just something that really didn't click into till I started turning 14, 15 years old. And basketball wasn't something that I had the talent for, and the height or the anything like that. I never had the advantages of being a basketball player. So I think overall footy was more suited towards my skill level and my just the way my physique and body is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I suited probably footy better than basketball.
Right, you're Muggsy Bogues, bro. You could have been Muggsy Bogues, bro.
Short fella.
So when did you make the switch? Was it later on that you made the full switch, or around 10, or?
I played rugby league all the way through from under sixes all the way till when I played first grade.
Yep.
So I've been playing rugby league all my life. I love rugby league as well. So. So I've always played rugby league, but I never really took it serious until I was 14, 15, coming through in the junior grades.
Were you always quick?
No, I was a chubby little fat fella.
Oh, really?
I was about 13, 14.
I can't imagine that, bro.
I was a little baby fat on me. And when I turned 15, 16, I started, stripping it, and that's when I started getting just a little bit of pace. And
Bro, that's crazy.
yeah, so I started playing fullback when I was about 15, 16 with the Harold Mayfews and SG Ball.
So was that with the Rabbitohs?
Rabbitohs,
Okay.
yeah, that's the junior bunnies rep teams. And
So was Rabbitohs always your favourite footy team?
yeah, Rabbitohs. You know, I grew up bleeding red and green, so I used to go to footy games with my grandmother. She used to take me there. She was a diehard Rabbitohs supporter until I got dropped.
Oh, really? Yeah.
She switched over to the Roosters.
No way. Went to the enemy.
She's crazy, that woman. Yeah.
Mate, that's, I mean, yeah, when that happened, it was pretty, I mean, even I was shocked. Okay, so did you make any of the rep sides or anything like that growing up, or was it just, you just kept playing for the Rabbitohs?
I made the under-19s New South Wales teams twice. The first year, we played at Lang Park, the old Lang Park, before it got tore down. And the second year, played with New South Wales again. The first year was upper grade.
Yep.
Second year, I played 19s again. And fair enough, we had Jonathan Thurston playing with us in New South Wales.
Wow.
He was down with the
shit.
Bulldogs.
Oh, shit.
So he was playing flag at the Bulldogs.
Okay. Do you give it to him when you see him?
Yeah,
You're a New South Welshman.
So, yeah, we've had a close relationship ever since that time. And, Willie Tongan was there too in the centres with the New South Wales team.
Oh, shit.
So we had Jonathan Thurston playing
Was
for New South Wales.
So is Thurston, like, he was obviously a small fellow, but was he always just had that ability, like just that knack, that something about him, that pass or whatever it was?
The game. He can see the game ahead of himself, and he's a fierce competitor. Always, put his body on the line or never give up on any plays, and he's always had that, and he's never been shy to take the line on, even just with the way that he carries. He's only a small fella, but he takes the line on with all. With whatever he's got on his body.
Doesn't matter how big he is, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's like, people, like, if you take the line on as a half, that's half the battle, in the sense if you get to the line and force them to make a decision. But it's it's the hardest part of being a half, because you're getting jammed every single time.
He'll take the knock, the pass, and put someone through the hole, and that just shows why he's one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Absolutely.
He'll take it to the line.
He's right behind you, bros. Look.
Hey?
You see him behind you?
Yeah.
There he is.
Oh, JT. They're great.
Mate, the guy's still watching you, bros. He's still putting you through holes, you reckon?
Yeah, that's why I used to love playing in All-Stars games, because that was the opportunity you get to play with Jonathan Thurston, Matty Bowens.
He was so good.
Who else? Who else?
Even Dell for a bit. Hodjo.
Yeah, played the first year with Wendell. So
yeah.
That was the first. Playing alongside Wendell. That was an awesome,
experience.
He's
a legend, bro. As a winger, as a fellow winger, I'm sure you're the same way. He's incredible.
Yeah, so someone looking up to, growing up as a kid, watching him play. Dual international. He'll tell you about it anyway.
Yeah, bloody hell. We don't need to say any more about him. He'll probably call in and bloody put him in speakerphone. He'll tell you. So who was it? So you started at fullback, but you ended up on the wing. But was there a player growing up that you really did, want to mould your game on or anything like that?
When I started playing wing, I started. My favourite players was Choc Mundine and Nathan Blacklock. So I used to love watching them play at the Saints. Just the way Tinga used to get around in the middle of the field, he made me want to go sniffing in the middle of the field for the football, and he scored tries out of nothing, and he was the one that I looked up at, and wanted to mould my game around, and do play the way that he played, and showed me the way, showed me the key, and showed me the how to do it, being a skinny black fellow, or just go out there and do it, putting your talents on show, and just letting the instincts go for it. So
that's an important thing. It's an important thing is, like, a lot of coaches have a tendency to try to coach that instincts out of a player. Whereas you look like a guy like Blacklock, he was just, it's like he played 24/7 just on instinct, and he would just like find holes that you're like, what's going on? He was incredible. So you really saw him and said, look, there's a fella that looks like me. I want to be like him. It's very it's much easier to be inspired by someone that you feel like you see a bit of yourself in.
Yeah. So it's pretty similar to me, build, complexion, height probably. but he's probably faster than me. So. But yeah,
Hey, I'd love to see him play in today's game, eh?
It would have been awesome to see him. Just the combination him and Chalk had was awesome to watch. You know, two black fellas going. You know, putting their talent on show every week in, week out, and you know, doing it on a consistent basis was you know, it's great to see and great to watch back in them times.
Yep. No, it's one of my not my pet hates, but even when I come into the grade, like I was so confident with my instincts. Like if I thought of something, I'd say, yeah, do it. And then like later on in my career, my confidence got a bit rattled, and like coaches would start telling me like, don't do this, don't do that. And then you start second guessing yourself, and that instinct just gets pushed out of you slowly. And before you know it, you're just at 20 hit ups, fucking get your 150 meters, catch, you know what I mean? You become that winger.
It's like a robot.
Yeah, like a robot. And I just think there's so many young fellas out there that, don't get me wrong, I understand you can't make errors, but at the same time, that individual brilliance, you can't get it coached out of you.
That's one thing I love watching about Cody Walker playing.
Bro.
He plays, you know, what's in front of him. He plays off his instincts, and you know he's a great player to watch because he's someone that, you know, plays what's in front of him, and you know goes with instincts. You know, there's structured football, but you know he'll take that structure out of the way and to play what he sees in front of him.
Absolutely, it's like he's a perfect example of like he gets through the structured shit. Like he gets as in when he needs to do it, he'll do it. Yeah. But then he can realize when the game needs his instinct, he just goes.
Yeah. He reads the game. And
absolutely.
It's phenomenal to watch. I love watching Cody play. So
yeah.
He's probably one of the players that I love watching play.
Incredible story too. 26 years old.
Yeah.
Have you heard his story about his origin and his kid?
Nah.
So he's a diehard Blues supporter, like diehard Blue, like sitting there watching Origin every year. Anyway, so he was actually up in Queensland with the Titans, and he made his missus drive across the border to have their kid so that it would be a New South Welshman and not a Queenslander. And the crazy thing is his missus is a Queenslander because she used to love Greg Inglis coming through. Like he's a gun, and even I think the son loves Greg Inglis as well.
Yeah.
And so they had a deal where like if it was a boy or a girl, I don't know which way it was, that state would be of what they chose, and it ended up being what Cody Walker chose anyway. Drove over, made him go over the border, bro. And now
awesome story.
And now he's playing for his state.
Yeah.
And he only debuted at 26 years old. Incredible.
It's crazy story. Something when he retires, it's going to look back on and, you know, can't believe what he achieved at an age where most people probably wouldn't think they can crack it anymore.
Absolutely, bro. At 26, like you'd think, you know, maybe I'll be a fringe first grader, but not an Origin player.
Yeah.
Still a big old though. Still got a big old though.
Yeah.
I don't want to wrap him up too much.
Yeah, I know.
I love Walks. He's one of my favourite players. Okay, so at what point did you get offered, or did it become a reality for you? Because obviously you made the New South Wales side. Did you get offered a contract from just the Rabbitohs, or were there other clubs interested?
Really, the only thing that I started back in 2002, so that's when South got reinstated.
Actually, sorry, take us through when you were a fan of the Rabbitohs. Sorry for interrupting you. Them getting kicked out of the comp. Do you remember where you were and what happened in that situation?
Yeah, I was just playing for the SG Ball rep team. So South still had a junior level representative team, and I was playing with them. Back then, I had a chance to go to Tigers for a contract. I think it was like 35 grand, and that was massive money for me back in them days.
Bro, big money back in the days.
But I knocked it back and stayed with the Rabbitohs as a 16-year-old.
Because you just loved them. That was your team.
Yeah, I just loved being a part of the Rabbitohs. It was a team that, that grew up, watched, just loving and idolised. And
how much did the Rabbitohs offer you to stay? Just nothing? Was it just like an...
I think I stayed for 10 grand, I think.
Wow.
But that was the highest paid player back then.
Especially the Rabbitohs,
Aaron Matthews, ISG Ball.
Wow. So you knocked back essentially 25 grand to go to the Tigers because you love the Rabbitohs.
Yeah. I just loved being around the boys that I was playing alongside too. So that was part of the reason. So, enjoyed my time back then. We made the grand final. Aaron Matthews, we got slaughtered in the grand final, but we had a team that was really unexpected to do anything really. So we made it all the way to the finals. It was a good year for us, and we enjoyed it. It was something that I look back on and something I could be proud of. Making the team, making the grand final in the Harold Matthews.
Absolutely. Okay, and was it after you made the grand final they got kicked out of the comp, the Rabbitohs?
It was around about the same time. So around about the same time, 1999 till 2002. So 2 years. I played Harold Matthews, SG Ball. Those were the 2 years that I was kicked out.
And so do you remember getting the news and being like, fuck?
Yeah, man, I was disappointed, So I didn't really know where to go from there. So I didn't know if... I knew I'd have to make a decision sooner or later if South don't get back in. So I was holding out hope for South to get back in. That's why I probably knocked back the Tigers contract, because I was holding hope that they'll get back in, because I knew they were going to court to fight for reinstatement and stuff like that.
So even after they got kicked out, you still could have probably taken that contract, but you're like, no, I'm going to stay loyal because I love this club so much, and I hope they get back in.
Yeah, that's how it pretty much was. And just I was comfortable where I was, and that was probably a major part of it too, being comfortable and knowing all the boys, knowing the system, and being a young fella, I was too shy. I was probably too shy to go somewhere else and get out of my comfort zone where I didn't know anyone, and go to somewhere new where I've been in the different surroundings. And so I just backed myself, and just hoped that things would get overturned with the court system, with letting South back in the comp. So, I stayed there for the 2 years, and that's when I think South, we lost Craig Wing and Barry Finasta through them times when they got kicked out, because they were South juniors coming through in the 99, and they were great players back then too. And they were the future of the game back in 99 after South got kicked out. So they had to chase somewhere else. So, I think Wingy went to Roosters and Brave went to the Dogs, and, they kick-started their careers from there. And they lost some careers.
Was there ever a period where you were like, I should probably go to another NRL club because I don't know what's happening here? Because 2 years is a long time to stay. I understand the comfortable side. Trust me, I understand the comfortable. But also, I'm sure there would have been people saying to you, it's like, Merritt, you need to get out and go to these clubs because you're an NRL player, but you're not going to get the chance to play here. Was that ever those conversations or not really?
Yeah, just remember having a manager back then. That was I didn't know what was going on, having a manager and doing the talking for you. So he was trying to lean on me to, persuade me to go. So just pretty much, I had that on the back burner, that other contract. So I had it as my second option. So, my first option was to stay in, hope they get reinstated. But I always had that in my back pocket. So that was something that I knew I had. So if it didn't play up with South getting back in, I knew I always had that other option in the other end. So I knew that either way, if South didn't make it, I was going, I would have probably played with the Tigers.
Yeah, okay. It's still it's incredible loyalty to stay in hope, because as you'd made under 17 in New South Wales twice, and even me, bro, I probably would have bounced. I would have been man, I need to play NRL. I can't be playing fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so you stay loyal, and do you remember the day they got reinstated then?
Yeah, actually, it's a bit blurry, but yeah, I remember the day, yeah, pretty much. I was at home just watching it, and I think I just finished... would have been just in year 12, nearly finishing high school, and just seeing them get back in the competition was, everyone was around the area, just seeing everyone so stoked about the Rabbitohs being back. They had a massive, crowd marching for them. Everyone from all over, every club from, supporter, fan base from different clubs come there to the rally and to support the Rabbitohs getting back in the competition. Was and to finally see him get in, it was just was something that just gave me a relief. It was a massive relief knowing that they were back in, and I could finally have a chance of making an NRL debut with the Rabbitohs, and something that gave me an extra drive to keep going, and knew that I had something in the future for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a goal, there's a target now.
Yeah, there's actually somewhere I can, keep going levels up because from Harold Murphy's SG board, Jersey flag, that was it. Cut off from, there was no first grade after that when South were out. So pretty much if after Jersey flag, you had no choice but to go. So but for South to come back in the comp, knew that was a stepping stone then. So you can always keep, stepping stones to achieve your goal to play NRL.
And with the club you obviously love. Okay, so that year, when was you? So they obviously gave you a contract, I'm assuming around that time. Did you go straight into the first grade squad?
Yeah, Craig Coleman, Tugger, he got the coaching gig, and I got a phone call from him and he asked me, what am I doing? And I just said, I'll finish high school. I've got nothing, don't know what to do. I've got nothing planned.
Yeah.
Had no degrees or anything after school, and said, mate, I'd like you to come and be part of the NRL training squad, summer squad. And mate, it's something that I took advantage of, and he gave me that opportunity, and from there I was just a young bloke, 18 years old, didn't know what was happening. He amongst all men. Back them days, when you're younger, it's more daunting being around the older players. So they were more intimidating back then compared to these days, where the young blokes they're so confident and giving the old blokes a bit of stick now. Back then, if you give, if you're a young fella trying to give the old blokes a bit of stick, they'll clip you in the back of the head.
Yeah, 100%, so absolutely.
It's a different era from the era that we're in now, but it's something that was a great to be a part of and experience them times.
Absolutely, and there is a part of me that I do feel that there's a lot we could take from those times about earning the respect of the people that have been there before, earning the respect of the people that have built the club for you. Without the people before you, that the club doesn't exist. So I do think there's a happy medium of the young fellas need to feel comfortable, but at the same time, you got to respect what's come before you. Yeah,
I think that's sort of going out the window actually. Back then, you had the old blokes and. They didn't take shit, and they'd let you know too. They come in here trying to think you're fucking, you're that and this and that.
Yeah. You've done nothing, bro. You've done nothing.
You got to fucking respect the elders around here. And 10 years down the track was a different story. It was like a whole 360. Young blokes coming in, making their debuts. At an early age, and coming in so, cocky and confident, so they'll give them crap back to the old fellas, and the old fellas was had a different perspective about him. 10 years after I made my debut, back when I first started, they'd bust you up and smack you in the head or give it to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really it was a different
times,
different time. Yeah, it was weird to watch now, to think back on.
Yeah, and you watched it happen. You know what I mean? I watched it happen.
You earn your respect back in when I 2002.
Yeah.
Even if you did, they'll still remind you. You're only a young pup. Don't come around here. Your head high.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
So they let you know about it too. So
bloody oath.
No, but they were tough boys back then. Hard.
Yeah,
the game was tough. It was hard back then. It was slow, but it was hard physically.
Absolutely. Totally agree, bro. So 2002, you make your debut against the Warriors. Do you remember how that came about? Was it expected? Was it not expected?
It was unexpected. I played reserve grade against Newtown Jets at the old SFS. And after the game, I remember Tugger pulled me aside and said, mate, I think it might have been after the game or Monday at training. He said, mate, get ready, you're going to play first grade next week. And I just, I didn't know how to take it. It was I don't know if he was joking or not.
Yeah.
But it was sort of surreal moment, just realising that, wow, I might be making my, dreams come true in next week. And just being a part of it, making my first game playing my first game against the Warriors over there, man, was pretty daunting, eh? Just the crowd, hearing the crowd in the background,
Drums.
I started from the bench, come on at half time, and, I was only 82 kilos or something.
Big jersey? Yeah, big jersey.
The big TV week, baggy jerseys. I looked like a little skinny black fellow off the friggin' out of high school or something. And you can in the crowd, got the Kiwi supporters with their big Maori tattoos around the face, giving you a bit of stick and looking around, and they seeing them, and they're just these big giants in the crowd, bullying, giving you a bit of crap and stick, calling you everything, and it's like, damn, I don't want nothing to do with these lads. Scary looking cunts. But yeah, it was coming at half time. It was down, and the thing I remember about that game was scoring a try on debut.
No way.
That was just
how'd the try come about?
I just got the ball off first receiver in midfield, and I just seen the two people up there, and I think it was Toop, he stepped in with the right foot, and then another one come across, and I stepped in with the right foot. Next minute, I just seen this big hole, and I just couldn't believe it.
Couldn't believe it was happening, yeah.
Yeah, and I just like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
So I started just running, and there was no fullback, and I just like the next thing you know, I'm running around the goal, in goal, around under the post and diving, and it was just a extreme moment that I always remember, and just to have that feeling when I first scored was just, it's just feelings that they're the feelings that you just hard to describe when them times, and it was a amazing feeling, and I just loved that time, and it always sticks in the back of my head. It just makes me feel good just
thinking about it.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah. Because people, to describe it, and you still can't describe it, but it's like, imagine every day of your life you're working towards one goal, and the one goal isn't to score a try on debut; it's just to debut.
Just to put the jersey on and
play.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the one goal.
Yeah,
so that when you do score on debut, you're in the clear, going, "This is actually happening. Like, this is crazy." It feels like you're outside looking in at yourself.
Yeah.
Like I can remember clearly, like thinking, like, "I can't believe this is happening." You put the ball down, and it's just a rush of elation. It's kind of like ecstasy. You're kind of like,
"Yeah, it is." Yeah.
I can't. This is everything I've ever dreamed of. And it's happening right. This is more than what I dreamed of. I just wanted to play.
Yeah. Big rush of excitement, and just the buzz that you get from it. You just couldn't wait to touch the ball again.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just like a dive of the line try. It was a half the field try.
Yeah, it was a pretty. Looking back on it, I wish I could see the highlights of it, because in my mind it felt like a good try. Like I'd done a bit of work to actually score that try.
Yep.
Where being on the wing, scoring tries off the back of off plays, and that was a lot easier.
It's just your job, really. It's kind of just your job. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's it. Yeah. Where this one, actually come in field and got off first, second receiver, and had to step my way through the line. And that was a pretty good Warriors team that we played. That was.
They won the grand final that year, weren't they? 2002.
I think the following year, or maybe that year. Yeah. So they were they had big boys in there, and they had a great team, man. They had a lot of tough heads. So wow.
No, what an incredible moment! Like, first, like as I said, like on your debut, it's like life can't get better,
Yeah. And just knowing all your families back home, watching you on debut, and just trying to make them proud was another great moment, and to get the phone call from the parents, and everyone saying how proud they are of you, and just another tick off the box of the achievements. That's
so true. You think about your family, and you know that your family is like beaming with pride because you've represented them so well.
Yeah.
So you score that great try, and then you so at the end of you score a try on debut, and then fast forward at the end of 2003, you agree to terms with Cronulla. Why after you'd been so loyal to Rabbitohs, that's your club. Why did you decide to go to the Sharkies? Was it just such a great offer you couldn't refuse it, or?
It was a good offer, but I had a bit of a disagreement with the CEO back in them days. So
okay.
He was an arsehole, pretty much. I didn't see we didn't see eye to eye. So it was just something that was non-football related, and I just couldn't bear to be there while he was there.
Okay.
And so I chose to leave, and I think that was leaving was hard. it was the hardest decision of my life. But in football terms, it was probably it's a moment that changed my life, made me grow up as a person, and made me mature. I had my first kids, twins, when I was at Cronulla.
Okay.
Made me the man I am today, and I had to mature into a person. Getting out of that, that uncomfort zone where I'm playing with the Rabbitohs, I'm in comfort zone, and I had to go out of my comfort zone at Cronulla. So I made that choice to sign a 3-year deal, 3rd year in my option, and playing over Cronulla for the first 2 years, it was hard. It was good, but it was hard. I didn't get much of a run. It was like the first year I went there, got 16-something games, and second year, I played 2 first-grade games, and I had the opportunity. Then the 3rd year, I had that option in my favour. So.
Take us to at Cronulla though, didn't you? So you didn't get much of a chance, but in reserve grade you had one game where you scored nearly 50 points, scored 5 tries and kicked whatever goals or whatever. Do you remember that?
Actually I went played Premier League, so it was Premier League back then. Scored 5 tries, kicked 10 goals. It was 40 points personal tally, and
wow,
I don't know what that ranks about, but yeah.
It's nearly 300 points for the season as well.
I got the leading try scorer in Premier League that year. Then the following year, I went back to the Rabbitohs and got leading try scorer in NRL.
NRL, wow.
So I went from leading try scorer in Premier League to the following year, leading try scorer with the Rabbitohs in a wooden spoon team. So.
Yeah, but mate, I tell this to people all the time. To be a winger that's leading try scorer in a wooden spoon side, it's incredibly hard. Incredibly hard.
Yeah, it's not something that's never been done. So it was a great achievement to look back on now and just realise what I'd done, and the achievement that I did was, remarkable.
Absolutely. Fucking oath it was. It's incredible.
Something I can, my kids can see now.
Absolutely. Be proud of. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, be able to say that's what your father did, you know?
Yeah.
I know you don't listen to me. I know you never listen to me, but your father actually did this shit. And so did that coincide with the person that was at the club? Did they leave the club and that's what made you come back? Or did they kind of, you'd settled whatever your differences was? Or
Yeah, he was no longer there.
Okay.
So that person, obviously, he was no longer there. Then, and they gave me an opportunity to sign for a year deal at Rabbitohs, and I took it straight away because I love the Rabbitohs, and so I could. It was the same kind of offer that I had with Cronulla, but I just couldn't refuse the chance to go back to the Rabbitohs, and it was probably the best thing I've done from that moment on. I really cemented my first grade position from that year on to the year I retired. So and I've become a pretty permanent first grade rugby league player from that year on for the next 8 years. So it changed me as a player and made me mature and smarter, and I grew as a person and a father and stuff like that.
So that 2006 season as well, you make the Australia's Prime Minister's side as well?
Yeah. Prime Minister's team go to Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, how was that?
It's crazy, eh? It was it's in a third world country, man. You take for granted what you got here when you go over there because, they just rugby league players, NRL players over there are like rappers to US rappers to us over America. What we see of like their NRL are gods to people in Papua New Guinea.
Wow.
NRL players, so they love NRL, they breed NRL, and they just want to touch her. They just want to touch her.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You throw your stuff out the thing, they're all running at each other for just to get your sock or anything. They just want anything of yours, and they surround you, and you just feel it's after the game they just all run the field, and they got the police coming there with the AK-47s.
What?
Just to back them off,
Wow, so they're actually full-on guns, come on with guns and that.
Yeah,
holy shit. So
they got to pull them out to keep the crowd back a bit, but they just keep coming.
Wow.
They just want to touch you, touch your face, touch your body.
No way.
A crazy experience, but something that was a great experience to have.
Bloody oath.
Just to realise how good you got it in life over here compared to what they're going through in their country.
Absolutely. Like you anytime I'm trying to like, be a sook or whatever, I'm like, man, I got it so good over here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So lucky to be born in this country. Especially when you look at places like PNG, Samoa, Tonga to an extent, like this Samoa, it's just, different world, bro. And how much they love it too. How grateful they are that you just go there for one game.
They walk 100 kilometres just to watch a football game, and they walk back to the village for 100 k's or whatever, something like that. An hour, they walk an hour just to watch a footy game.
Yep.
And then walk back home in the dark. It's crazy, and it's a scary environment to be walking around in. Just
bloody oath.
Driving around for the day, it looks scary. So, wow, they're crazy people, man. Just they love and they bleed the game of footy over there. They just adore it. So,
hopefully one day they can get a
support.
side, I reckon. I'd love to, like one day if it's financially viable and everything, I know they've got one in the Queensland Cup, but I'd love for them to have an NRL side just because they offer so much to the game. Okay, so that year rolls around, 2006. The next, what over the next few years, what kind of stands out for you? The next kind of, because you just continue, you're top try scorer again.
2011, I think.
2011. So that period there, because like Rabbitohs struggled when they came back into comp. Was there ever did you ever get big offers from other clubs because you were going so well or anything like that?
Yeah, because I signed that 3-year deal. I was locked in for the 3 years and never really took any notice of anything else. And after my 3 years was up, I always renegotiated early. So I really never took any offers or heard any other offers in my career from then on. So I'd always just re-sign for another 3 years. And that's the way it was till the day I retired. I didn't look outside the box and see if any other clubs are interested or anything like that. I just pretty much re-signed before I was pretty much on the open market because it was pretty vice versa. They wanted me and I wanted to be a part of the Rabbitohs still. So and we made things happen before I could ever go on the open market to test myself.
Was it tough in that period though? Like you guys come. How many times did you just come last? Like regularly?
Yeah, regularly. Come last. I can't. Probably more.
So like 4 or 5 times
at least, yeah, and going through about 10 or 12 head coaches.
Yeah.
So it was hard to find a stability.
Yeah.
Inside the team and the club. There was no stability. Coaches were gone. General managers were swapping over, footy managers, and just the footy team was just always cycled around. We never had that constant, playing group where we stuck together for a couple of years. I think we had like 10 or 15 different halfbacks.
Fuck. Chrissy Sandow's my favourite, bro.
Yeah.
He's my favourite, bro. I know he had his troubles after footy or whatever, but he was incredible, man.
Yeah, Chris was
Any Chrissy Sandow stories? He's a different character, bro.
He's a legend. I love Chrissy Sandow. He was a champion, man. He's a champion player.
I love watching him play. He's that instinct we were talking about. He was so instinct, bro.
He brought that to the club when he come, just playing off the cuff with what and chip and chase in his own.
Yeah.
He played what he'd see.
He tried to shot Greg English, bro.
Yeah.
He tried to shot Greg English. Like, I love that. I love that, Who tries to shot Greg English, bro? That's fucking sick.
Chrissy Sandow.
Yeah, Chrissy fucking Sandow does. That's who fucking does, bro. I loved watching him play. Any stories of him, any funny stories, like obviously playing or anything like that? Or
I can't really.
I'm sure you've got plenty of funny stories.
Plenty of stories, yeah. He's a character, man. He's a character. Great character to have around your footy, team, and he always joked and pranked everyone. But there's no stories I can think of back of my head at the moment.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll be driving in the car and you'll be like, that was
those
stories.
in the back of my head, yeah. But he's just always someone that would uplift the team, with his jokes or come in with his laugh.
Yeah.
Someone that was always was good to have around in your club. With
you need them, bro.
Yeah.
You need them, man. You need that little larrikin that's willing to have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Because it's too serious, man. You just get over it. You don't want to be there. Okay, so do you remember the first time you scored 5 tries in the NRL? When was that? That was 2011 or earlier than 2011?
Yeah, I think that was 11. Yeah, that second time I got the league try scorer.
So walk us through that. Do you remember the game, how it happened?
Just got. I was playing on the wing most of the year. Then Reese West was our fullback.
Reese Wesser.
Reese Wesser, yeah.
Bruh, he's one of the most underrated fullbacks ever.
Nah.
He was a gun. He just glided. He just glided across the field.
He did, He just he made it look so easy.
100%.
So
did you feel any? Or was he real fast?
Yeah, he was ultra fast, and that was at the back end of his career.
Yeah, imagine him at the start.
He was still faster than me at the back end of his career.
Did you feel like anything different that day when you scored 5 tries? Was there any feeling in the air?
No, yeah, there was. Yeah, you can just feel the atmosphere. You know when you're on, you can feel it. And just the instincts that I had that day was just, I was in the right spot at the right times always.
Yep.
And it's something that I always would just come with instinct. And, I found myself in the right spots at the right times. Scored, I think, 3 first half tries. And then, I got my 5th try right on the buzzer.
No way.
It was off a Luke Burgess pass. And if it was an inch forward or an inch behind, it would have been forward pass. Or if it was an inch
would have missed it.
It would have got tapped down. It was just a perfect pass and hit me right in the chest. And just remember just running towards the goal line, just thinking there, diving over, jumping up, putting the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, fingers up. Yeah, it was a great moment.
What's that feeling like, bro?
It was awesome, mate. Just, you know who we are. We're wingers. We love scoring tries.
Yeah, celebrating.
Just once you score 5 tries, it's a remarkable achievement. Not many people get to score 5 tries. I know you
I got 4. I didn't get 5,
yeah.
bro. I'm not in the 5 club, bro. I'm only in the 4 club. Sorry, bro. Not good enough for the 5 club,
you
bro.
won the game with the 4. So that's something come off one of the greats kicks.
Mate, he's one of the goats. But I didn't score 5 tries. I didn't score 5 tries.
Score 4 would be amazing too.
So did you realise at the time when you scored that try the gravity of what you'd achieve, especially you're an old school winger in the sense like you want to score tries. Like they're wingers these days, don't get me wrong, they're still fantastic, but they might be meter eaters or they might be great under high ball, whereas you were a try scoring player. Do you remember, you scored that 5 tries and what was the feeling like for you?
Just felt on top of the world. I felt good. I was playing fullback then, so.
Oh, you scored 5 from fullback?
Fullback, yeah.
Wow.
So that's a position that I preferred playing, fullback. And, because I got the hang around the middle and because I could read off, I knew who was offloaders, who was give the ball away. Always had Isaac Luke, Dave Farlogo, people that, Chrissy Sand, John Sutton was one of the major, one of the big ones that I used to connect with all the time. And the following week, we,
3 tries, baby.
Later, following week.
Wow.
Went down Canberra and come away with 3 tries, and so there was 8 tries in 2 games. And
it was like in 8 tries in like 6 days or some shit like that.
Yeah, 8 tries in 6 days. And
wow.
I just felt like I was in a zone.
Yeah,
it was a zone kind of feeling. And and then training during the week, I got a quad strained, and that put me out for the next game.
Oh no!
So just when I was feeling the fire, Then we played against the Broncos up there, and then the following week I played Newcastle. Was the last game of the year, and I finished off with 2 tries. So the last 3 games I scored 11 in 3 games. So
far out.
11 or 10 in 3 games.
That's what?
10.
No, that's 9. 5,
3, and 2.
Oh yeah. That's 10.
So,
We're both bad, bro. You still wingers, bro. We're here to score tries, not count them, bro. We don't count them. I mean, that's like the try scored this season. It's like 21 or some shit for the top try scorer. So that's like half of that try in 3 games.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Mate, what was it feel like? I mean, I know that's hard to explain. You keep saying this, like, you're going to say the same thing. It was incredible, but is there anything you remember from that time that kind of sticks out for you? Obviously the tries, but you know what I mean, outside of the tries?
Just being able to play off the back of your instincts, not having, just having the freedom to roam, freedom to be anywhere on the field. Johnny Lang was our coach then, and he just gave me the license to do what I want. Run the field and pop up wherever I wanted, and he didn't want me to be the fullback to come back and just make the meters or whatever. He just wanted me to play my game, and that was my game, just being a support player, playing off the back of my instincts, and You know, and that's the way I played, and when I played fullback, and you know, I played my best footy that way.
Yeah. I mean, it's like we talked about earlier with Nathan Blacklock. It's something that you really, enjoyed, is that instinct side of things. Okay, so that's 2011. So GI came 2012?
No, I think it came in 2010, I think.
2010. And so was that, I mean, I know, like when you're in NRL, you see guys like Greg Inglis and you're like, oh yeah, he's another player or whatever. But did it feel like a momentous day for the club with, have this superstar of our game coming to the club?
Man. Just, I remember shooting him a text and, was just so stoked to have someone of that caliber to actually sign with the Rabbitohs. I think
you
got
didn't
Sam
get that.
Burgess signed there, and I didn't really see too much of Sam. I watched him play against the Aussies in them tests when he was like 20, 21, and he was unbelievable watching him play. Just the things that he was doing, running around a fullback, scoring tries, and then to have Greg sign. Greg was in the prime of his career. To have him sign at the Rabbitohs, being there for so long, we would always get people on the back end of their career signing at the Rabbitohs on big money. So
coming to retire there pretty much.
The retirement village it was called. And just to have someone like Greg's stature of the game, one of the best players in the game.
One of the goats in my
opinion.
Yeah.
It was just, and it was a black fella too, so it was just another great, bonus for us, and to have him there was just it was an amazing feeling, and just you don't realize it till you finish how good it was to be able to play alongside him. Just to play against him was you hated playing against him.
100%.
Nothing. Friend of his,
mate. He had everything. He got you a few times.
Oh, he's got me heaps of times. Yeah, he's got great balance with the palm too. So. The balance and the stride and the pace and and his defense is awesome. There's nothing that you can tick that he needed to work on. Everything he had down pat. He had speed, strength. Great defense, good under the ball, and great balance. That balance that come with the palm, and you can just keep the same. Speed while he's palming.
And the timing, knowing when to throw that hand out.
Yeah.
So you didn't think it was coming, did you?
Boom. Yeah, he's getting hit by one of them fans as well.
And obviously the Sam Burgess signing was a big signing, but I truly believe Greg Inglis' signing changed the club forever, pretty much. Obviously, there's a chance that the club could go back and struggle again. But I truly believe Greg Inglis turned the club from a club that really, really struggled into a top four powerhouse now. I mean, ended up winning the comp. You're in top four or five last season. And did you have much to do with Russell Crowe or not really? Like when he came into the club, he was kind of just a figurehead that was doing things?
Yeah, Rusty popped in and out a fair bit. Like from 2007 onwards, once he took over, the first couple of years he was really involved, really amongst it, and he's done a lot for us, took us to a lot of places and brought a lot of celebrities into training or took us and met a lot of celebrities and stuff like that. But just and like you're saying, having Greg sign there was something that really changed the perspective of the whole club. We've got a player that's signing in his prime to come to a club where it wasn't successful in signing players or wasn't a club that was on the rise, was always out of the top 8. And for him to come there when he could have...
Huge risk.
He knocked back Broncos.
He was literally... I was at the Broncos and it was a done deal, and apparently the word goes that Greg's cousin, I don't know if he's told me I'm allowed to say it, so I won't say who it is, but he's in footy, messaged Greggy, and Greggy spoke to Russell, and it was more around like that message really helped change things, and it happened really quickly. So knock back to Broncos, a powerhouse, to come to a Rabbitohs squad, because we forget, Rabbitohs couldn't sign anyone. Like no one wanted to go there. It was so hard because you had a lot of talent come through, and it would just get poached straight away. As soon as your talent would come through, if you weren't like, you were probably the only loyal one through all that period. I can't name many other players. Sutto. You two are the only two that really stayed, because any other good player would just straight off to another club. So I truly believe Greg Inglis's impact at that club is incredible, and your impact and Sato's impact, But just looking at from
just having Greggy's, like I was saying, just where he was in particular in the game, one of the best players to come there.
Any club would have
really
signed him.
Changes the the structure of the club, and put the club in a good stead to attract other players to come there.
Absolutely.
And that's what transpired the Rabbitohs into moving ahead,
Yep.
moving steps forward to the ultimate goal of winning that premiership when they won it in 2014. So Greggy was a major part of that because he was the number one. He was the first person to sacrifice himself to come to the club while he's in his prime. Then other players started following his lead, and then just kept piling on, and eventually they achieved the big drought that they had and won the grand final, and that pretty much, I think that's cemented Greggy's stature in the game of one of the greatest that's ever laced his boots up on.
100%. In my opinion, he is the greatest outside back of all time.
Yeah.
I would pick him over any player to play centre, wing, fullback, potentially even six, but we'll focus on that. He's incredible. I always say if there is a higher power or whatever, and they were like sculpting the perfect rugby league player, you would sculpt Greg Inglis, in my opinion, because he had everything, bro. He had everything.
He had the height, strength, build, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so 2013 rolls around. And you make your debut. What was do you remember the phone call? Because it was weird. Like, people that forget that time, a lot of people question, like, why hasn't Nathan Merritt made his debut when he's playing such good footy? He'd been leading try scorer. Was it unexpected or?
Yeah, it certainly was. Because I was playing. I was playing pretty crap football too at that time, so it sort of caught me off guard. And to be honest, I probably wasn't even ready for it, but. At the same time, things happened in the game where I didn't back my instincts, where in previous years I would have, and when I think about it, the things that I would have done, I would have backed myself, and it would have made a difference in that game where I didn't do it because I didn't trust myself or trust my instincts at that time, and I just didn't it didn't plan out the way that I wanted it to pan out, and I ended up having to come into the squad, and then we ran into a red hot
crazy Queensland
up in Queensland, and it was just something that I done one mistake that led to another mistake and another mistake, and just it was a free flowing effect, and next minute we got pumped, and it was just it was one of the worst nights of my life in my footy career. It was one of the games where I hate talking about Origin because I know I had a shocker then.
Yeah.
It sort of carried on and brought me a bit down after that. So it was a shit feeling. It was just So I was 30 years old, made my debut, and but just wish I just trusted myself and played with instincts that I normally did play with. And but it was a learning curve and a learning lesson, and. I learned from it, and I guess you got to move on, and that's one thing I did. So, but it played a lot in my head afterwards. So, it's really something that affected me football and probably just in life in general after that. Yeah, so it was pretty tough.
Because it's easy for me to say to you, bro, you made New South Wales. You should just be happy with that. Like, that's such an achievement. But you're such a competitor, and also how much you could have done. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sure in your head you're thinking, fuck, if I just had done that and I'd done that and done that.
Yeah, there's times in the game where I could have made a difference, and I just fucking just didn't go with it. I just played passive or played, come in too hard, and didn't. I could read the game, but I played with shit instincts that night, and just it was a night to forget, and I hate thinking about it,
bro. Mate,
it does my head in,
Mate, I still think about games as well where I'm like, fuck me. What do you think? What helped? Because you struggled mentally after it, like the confidence, but also off the field, you're upset with your performance. What did you do to kind of move past it? Like, what kind of thing did you talk about it with anyone at the club or anything like that, or not really?
No, not really. It was just we played the Wednesday, and it was just lucky enough we played the Friday night. So so the next game was on a Friday, and got it out of my system straight away. Where I'll come back to playing footy, and we played against the Raiders, I think, and we won the game. And I think we were sitting pretty good in competition around that time. So being able to just have that quick turnaround playing again was something that was good to get out of my system. So where I didn't have to wait around and just wait all weekend and think about the Origin game all weekend, where I can get that game under my belt and just try and move on, and try not to forget about it. Try not to think about it too much, but just it played in my mind a lot after. I admit it now. It's something that played on my mind and affected me. But
people don't see that side of things, bro.
Yeah. Something that people bring up Origin, and I hate talking about Origin because just the failures that I had with Origin at that time. Just that's a disappointing time in my career and in my life, pretty much.
Yeah, mate, I'm feeling it because, with my career, I didn't play as many games as I should have. And so there was a period there where people brought up footy, and I didn't want to talk about it because it upset me because I really thought that I'd failed. Yeah. And so you start going down that track again, fuck, man, if I didn't do this off the field, if I sorted my mental health out here, and it upsets you and it hurts you, whereas obviously the person, he doesn't realise that you're hurt and talking about it kind of thing. Yeah. But you past it now, or you still stings you a bit?
Past that period. I just struggled with life after the game, just being with that last year playing with the Rabbitohs, being dropped and then watching them win the premiership. Yeah. That was tough, eh? It was fucking one of the... It just brought me down a lot, it affected me for about 3 years after
wow.
transitioning into post footy. That's something that really affected my lifestyle, my well-being. Got down, depressed, heaps. Shitloads. Go to rehab over it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so it hit a low life in my career, just over shit like that. It's people don't realise how much of effect things in rugby league do that to you.
Absolutely, bro.
So it's fucking it comes with the good and the bad.
The highs of 5 tries, and everyone remembers you as this incredible try scorer, and yet you're sitting there thinking about that last season.
Yeah, that's all I can think about when my career's over. I forget about all the things that happened from my career. The only things I remember is that shit season that I had last year in my career.
So the last season happens, and you start the year in first grade, or you start the
year first grade, yeah.
And when was the first time you got dropped in that 2014 season?
It was the first, because I was sitting on the equal try scoring record with the all-time South try scoring record for the first 6-7 games of the year. So I needed to score one try to break the record. And it was round 7, I haven't scored a try, and then round 8, I think I scored a try against the Panthers, and we beat them at Penrith 18-2 or something to score a try, break the record. It's an 80-year-old record.
Wow.
So I'm the leading try scorer in the Rabbitohs history of the club.
Incredible, bro. Incredible.
Longest history club in the NRL. And the following week we played the Bulldogs, and we lost in extra time, and I just remember I missed an opportunity where they crossfield kicked and I dropped it. And just remember Madge after Monday coming up to me saying, "Mate, we're going to drop you." And then he dropped me, and then that was it, eh? I knew it was it. It was it. That was me for the rest of the year. I played 2 more games or something like that, but that was just to fill in for people
that were injured in that.
But yeah, so I knew I wasn't coming back on there. So
yeah,
I couldn't even make the 23 to take the photo in the grand final thing. So I just.
Now that's got to be upsetting.
Yeah.
So what they just said, you don't need to come to this photo for the 23, or they just didn't include you?
Just wasn't in the squad. So I was it was just it felt unwanted. So I just pretty much left. I didn't turn up to the retirement day at the grand final. I just didn't bother.
So hurt by the whole
Just
situation.
didn't bother turning up, and I didn't even go to the grand final.
Wow.
So that's how much it affected me. I didn't even bother about going there. I went to the Aboriginal knockout, Koori knockout up Newcastle, and I just played in that. And
was that because, like, obviously the reasons are obvious. You'd been with the club for fucking 13 years or 14 years or whatever, and you'd been through all the hard times. They got kicked out, you stayed loyal. And I understand it's a professional situation. Do you think it would have gone a long way if they had just included you in that 23 squad? It would have helped a little bit, or?
Oh yeah, I reckon so. Yeah, just been feeling like you're a part of it. Just would have been great. Just knowing that you don't feel like you're connected to the team or anything like that. Towards the end of you're retiring and just don't have any connection to the team going into the finals and stuff like that.
So there was no effort from them to be like, we respect everything you've done for the club for this many years. Come along as a part of the squad, be a part of the grand final celebration. You're not playing, or to be honest, I would have thought put you on the bench at minimum, but that's just my opinion. To give you that opportunity to say that you're part of it. But so there was no effort from them at that time to go be a part of this squad because we know how loyal of a servant you've been.
Oh yeah, I just don't think they really cared at that time. You can see them. I can understand them. They had the grand final, and that's their big aim, and that's all they're worried about, and it's understandable. So just got to take it on the chin, I guess. But it's something that really played a big part of my life after footy. Just having that period of my life, just thinking about that all the time, and made me down a bit, heaps. Made me feel like shit. Unwanted, and I played a major role in my family life afterwards too. Just made my wife feel miserable every day because I was getting around miserable like a miserable cunt. But it's something that I've moved ahead of now, so it's great to move ahead of that. It's something that it's I don't know, man. It's just to experience that sort of thing, you don't realise the impact that depression has on you. It just sticks with you. It's like a disease that comes and goes. Like, I never had depression until like last year or two of playing NRL.
Wow.
And fuck, man, just carry that shit on with you. Just depression just stays with you no matter what. Now with me, I've got to manage my well-being. I'm on a daily fucking battle. So
absolutely.
Every day's a battle for me. Just to look after myself. I feel down a lot. That's why. I've got to find things to do to keep me, occupied, keep me feeling better. When I get out of the house more, I feel a lot better, a better person, and a better, father and husband. So it helps me a lot getting outside of the house.
Bro, I wish you could, and I know, like, depression is, I've dealt with my own mental stuff as well, but I wish you could see how loved you are by the rugby league community, Like, I know that it's, as a footy player, you don't realise that there are thousands upon thousands of people that you say the word Nathan Merritt, and they're like, fuck, bruh, remember Nathan Merritt down the side? Like, they have these incredibly positive memories. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, bro, you say the word Nathan Merritt, you say the name Nathan Merritt to nearly any footy fan, and they're fucking, it's a happy thing, So bringing all that happiness to fucking so many people, bro. And sometimes, I know it's hard because it's, depression doesn't discriminate, but you've got to remember that, bro. Like, that's something that a lot of people never, ever experience. Like, put it this way, like, the word Den and Chem has nowhere near the impact that Nathan Merritt has to hundreds of thousands of kids, men now that fucking remember that. You know what I mean? Like, even, we'll talk about, just from my experience, like the amount of people that can tell me where they were when I scored the try against Parramatta, the exact story, everything like that. Now, think about that times fucking a million for you, the amount of people that you've positively affected their lives. So, yeah, that year, brother, like, as I said, I think that the club probably should have done more to involve you, to at least show that they appreciated, what you had done for the club. But man, I wish you could, trust me. I put a post up saying Nathan Merritt. I'm telling you, the amount of comments like, bro, he was a gun. He was so good. He should have done this. He should have done that. Like, as in played more of this, more of that. So you feel like, so it genuinely affected you, and you just couldn't be around it because you just kind of felt like that they could have involved you a little bit more. You understand that it's a grand final. You understand that decisions were made in the team, but you just wish that you were a little bit more involved in that grand final process, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, thinking back towards it now, just more involved, more, just amongst the club more, just sort of felt like an outcast, and I just didn't give a shit then, and that's the way it was. But they didn't really give a shit either. So
okay.
It was pretty much a vice versa feeling.
Okay.
And they had a bigger picture ahead of them, and so it was understandable, like I said. But I think I'd at least deserve some kind of recognition or something, like at a football game or something, to recognise the feats that I've done with the club and the things that I've done playing with the club and off the field with the club, doing things off the field. I sort of felt like I got no recognition for whatever I've done. Played the second most games in the history of the South Club.
Wow.
I just felt like I just got treated unfairly and not like I'd done anything towards the club. Just felt like I was just another player.
Okay. Yeah, no, totally. So have they reached out to you at all since that time, tried to re-involve you? And
Yeah, I've done a bit of work, done a bit of involvement with South Cares, but that's sort of a different section of the South Footy Club. But yeah, I've done a bit of things, and it's good to be back involved and letting bygones be, getting over it and stuff.
Moving past it.
Yeah, it's just.
So it's more around that time you really wish that they treated you like a veteran, that you had earned. You had earned that right,
I think I deserved it, and I think that they just. I think that probably the premiership just didn't made them feel like they. I don't know. They just didn't really feel about my. I don't know what to say.
No, I know what you mean. Like, the premiership year, they could have done more to show that you were a club veteran that had been there for 12 to 14 years, played. How many games did you end up playing for the club? At 200 or something like that, around there?
218, I think.
And they could have done more to celebrate your legacy at the club.
Yeah, that would have been something that could have, I guess, smoothed it out a bit.
Okay.
Smoothed the love out a bit, made me come to peace with everything a bit more better, I reckon.
Okay.
But yeah, I just didn't, nothing ever evolved and didn't receive no recognition or anything about my achievements or being anything that I've done with the club.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's
a pretty sad ending, the way everything
absolutely
happened towards the end.
Because, like, for people listening, at any NRL club, if there is a player that has played 200 games and they're retiring, it's a big deal that year. And things are set up, celebrations are set up, especially their last game, or let's say, for example, if you didn't make that, they should have put you in that squad, but let's just whatever. You should have been in the photo. Like, I think that's really, really poor form, but that's just my opinion, and it's different people that are there now. So I think anyway.
Yeah.
If you're a player that's been in a club, and a club legend, because you are a club legend, and I know you probably wouldn't say that about yourself, but you absolutely are. A big deal's made about it. So they could have brought you, said, Nathan, come back for the grand final. We've got a pre-game or a post-game thing for you, or whatever, or even in the semi-finals, whatever day it was. You're totally right. You'd earned the right to have that done for you, in my opinion. Absolutely.
Or even the next year, I reckon. Just one game, home game or something.
Yep.
Bit of recognition or something. So I don't know. But anyways, it's all done. It's all finished.
it's so hard because, you want to talk about it honestly, But you also got to you don't want to be seen like you're bringing up old shit to have a go at anyone. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be seen as a sook, which sucks, man, because you're not being a sook. You're just telling it like it was. You're being honest about how you felt. Yeah, exactly. And you shouldn't feel ashamed to be fucking honest. And also, I think most people agree that you should have had something done for you. You should. I mean, in my opinion, you should have been put in that squad, even if they changed the squad to 24 people or whatever. Put you in the photo. Fuck me dead. As I was saying, bro, you say the word Nathan Merritt in rugby league, and I'm telling you, people's faces just light up immediately like that. So you always got to remember that, brother. Always got to remember that. And what you achieved, bro. Fuck, 5 tries. Holy shit. 150. Got the best scoring rate nearly in history. Fucking crazy score. 150 tries in 220 games or something like that. Yeah. Along those lines. So did you? So post footy, you played in the knockout each year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Give us some stories from the knockout, bro. When I've seen bits of it, I love watching it. So for people listening, and most people will know what the knockout is. So the Koori knockout is basically it's an Indigenous tournament.
Yep.
That's gone back ages,
since 1970s, 79, I think, maybe, or 78.
Well, you'd be better explaining it than I am.
Yeah,
what was
it's just where there's normally about 50, 60 country teams in the competition. You get your Redfern All Blacks, you get your Newcastle, your Owies All Blacks, Walgett, Toomela, Moree, just all country town teams coming together, and it's it's a 3-day event. Start on the Saturday, play one game on the Saturday. It's just like a knockout tournament. So if you, as soon as you lose, you're out. Play one game on the Saturday. If you win that game, you're going to Sunday, and then win all your games on the Sunday. It's 3 games. You play on the Sunday. You win all them, then you go on to the Monday where the semi-final is the first game, and then you play the grand final later on that day.
Okay.
And it's man, it's tough football.
Old school footy.
Old school. Coming with swinging arms.
Yeah.
The old, the dragging you away in the ground, swinging arms coming in.
And a lot of NRL players play too.
Yeah, a lot of NRL players play, and it's all about giving back to your community and playing for where you come from and stuff like that. And that's a great thing about it. Every time I played, I pretty much played for a Redfern team, and the last time I played for Waterloo and saw teams there where I've come from. So it's everyone's really passionate. The crowds are real passionate. The supporter base is real passionate. They really get into it, and it's good footy. It's 20 minutes a half, unlimited interchange. So it's just everyone's just off and on, and it's good. It's
great to watch, man.
Great footy too. People playing off the instinctive footy. There's a lot of freakish talent out there coming in the bush. You see footy players come from the bush and come down and play, and they're just, where's this fellow? He should be playing under an NRL contract or something.
Yeah, give him an opportunity
out there. And it's knockout football is the best footy that I've been part of. I love playing in the knockouts. Yeah. Everyone gives it to each other, and end of the day, everyone after the game, everyone comes together, and everyone celebrates come together and just enjoy being a part of each other's company and playing against each other on the field. It's a different story, but after the game, it's all love and
it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. So
is anyone? Are there any stories of any NRL players? I know there was one year where some dude punched Latrell. Some were you there that year?
Yeah,
that was funny as bro.
It was my team actually.
Well, so your team punched, as in the guy from your team punched Latrell.
Yeah, punched Latrell. It was playing against Taree. Latrell plays Taree.
Oh,
yeah. And then the lads had a bit of beef going on. So Latrell. The lad from our team got up, played the ball, and Troll was over him, and I think he just pushed him and then jabbed him, and then
Troll just pop.
Yeah,
he didn't want to do nothing.
He didn't want nothing to do.
Yeah.
Not that he was. I don't think he was scared or nothing.
Nah. He knew he's Latrell Mitchell. If he punches him, he's fucking in trouble.
Yeah. So it was just one of the games. I was just laughing myself. Them things come.
Yeah.
We've been a first grader and stuff like that, so you got a target on your head playing first grade in the in the knockout. So
Yeah.
if you're an NRL player and you come back to the Koori knockout, you got a target on your head. Everyone wants to take your head off.
Especially Big Charlie, bro.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
superstar.
So
He's a superstar.
That's one of the tough things about being an NRL player when you go back to the Koori knockout. Everyone wants to say they've
Shot a jar, or if I can put it over you, staunch jar. Yeah. 100%. And so I think it wasn't on this year because of everything that's going on, correct?
The knockout got cancelled this year, last year for the COVID stuff, but it's back on again this year. It's down, I think it's down Wollongong somewhere.
Okay, yep.
So there's, hopefully it's all, going forward, and hopefully the COVID settles down and
Yep.
stuff like that, so we can get back to normal, living life and
Bloody oath.
we can get that Koori knockout back and going again, because nothing beats being around your mob for the weekend, playing for the mob, or me, I'm probably too old to play now, so it's probably just being involved in the capacity of being a water boy would be, be a great feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And just being around that environment of footy is, and just watching all the teams play. I'm at a stage of my career now where I can just sit back and just chill and enjoy watching the football instead of being out there and having the pressure of trying to win a game.
Yep.
And so I've got the luxury of just chilling now, watching my son come through. He's 16 years old now, so
Oh, really? How's he go? Go all right?
yeah, he goes good. He's short, but he's a nippy little fella.
Yep.
But he's got a massive heart. He's a great basketball player too. So
Oh, really?
yeah. So just hopefully in the next year or two, I'll come back and play one game with my son.
That'd be sick, bro.
That'd be good, man.
That'd be so good, bro.
I'm just hoping for that moment. Can't
Yep.
wait for that.
Mate, that'd be sick. Run out with your own son. That's
Yeah,
so cool,
yeah.
bro. So cool.
Yeah.
So if you did support a team, you still support the Rabbitohs, or is
Still support the Rabbits.
Yep.
It's hard to go past the Rabbits. I love watching the Rabbits play. If
Yep.
I do watch the game,
Yep.
they're exciting team to watch. Especially in the attack. The way they play in the attack is great footy. Just they make the ball move, and the halves combination with Renault and Cody is just they play off each other, so they know each other's game so well, and
Absolutely.
they got a great combination, and a great backline to the forwards. They do their job, so it's good watching the team play.
Absolutely. Ask all the boys, favourite rapper of all time.
Probably Snoop Dogg or Tupac.
Snoop Dogg or Tupac? I'm going to Tupac. All right, I like Tupac better. I just reckon
same Tupac's my favourite.
bruh, there's no one that had you can
he's living ahead of his time.
100%.
The words that are coming out of his mouth.
He was talking about shit that's still relevant today, bro.
Yeah. That
Um,
was back in '95.
exactly. And we didn't have the internet to educate us back then. He was just talking that real shit.
His knowledge was in.
100%. And also, it's a club banger, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's incredible. Like the lyrics, they mean something.
Yeah.
Favorite movie of all time?
Probably Friday.
Friday? Yes. That's a fucking great
Smokey.
movie. Oh, Debo? Is it Debo?
Devil, yeah.
Debo. Did he pass away or
He
something?
passed away.
Fuck, that
Devo,
sucks,
last
bro.
year for COVID.
That fucking sucks, bro.
Fucking hell,
What
man.
a good movie, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, bro. It's been awesome time, and it'd be great to come back one time, another time.
100%, bro. See how you going. Boom. See if you played with your son in the knockout.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll come back then.
100%, brother. Boom. Dunsky.
Thank you.